I love to call her A-Dub, okay? Alicia is a professional in corporate America. She's an entrepreneur running a real estate management company. She is an investor. She serves on several executive boards, and she is an independent black woman, aka boss. Okay? And right here to Alicia's left, maybe y'all right, I don't know. But this gentleman here that's bearded is so fun. Let me tell you something. He got that zaddy vibe going on. You understand what I'm saying? That zaddy. He got that zaddy vibe, okay? His name is Wayne. Wayne is an entrepreneur, a marketing and media consultant, all right? He is doing the daggone thing, all right? And over here to my right, maybe y'all left, I don't know how these screens work, but this is Donald. Donald is a business professional. He is also a real estate investor, and he serves on many executive boards. And if you don't know by now, maybe you know, it's your girl Kiki. Okay. And you know a little bit about me. I have podcasts, several businesses, entrepreneur spirit, business professional. I love speaking engagements. I'm a lifestyle strategist and author. Okay, if you have not gotten your damn shame on the rocks drink recipe book, you missing out. It's on Amazon. Listen, drinks be popping, okay? Also an investor and an independent black woman, aka boss. Shout out to my fans. Yeah. So here we go. It's about to get started. Cheers. Yes. Mm. So let me just give you this intro here. In an age where black women are doing the damn thing, right? We are at the heights of our careers, taking over invest in the investment game, running multi-million dollar businesses, holding high positions in political offices, taking over the entertainment industry, media, and sports. But are we doing this at the expense of emasculating or diminishing the role of the black man? We have so much to unpack tonight. But before we really get started, I want to define gender roles, right? Because we said that who's the boss? The blurred lines between the gender roles, right? So gender roles, let me define that for everyone on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. VIPs, y'all out there? All right, give me some hearts, likes, love. Share the live, share the live. So gender roles are behaviors and attitudes that are considered acceptable, appropriate, and desirable for a person based on their sex. These gender roles are centered around masculinity and femininity. Would you agree that in today's times, the lines have been blurred drastically? I often hear terms like, she's a masculine modern woman, or he's giving off feminine energy. Let's talk about it. How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that?
I think in today's time that you have to support the women. You have to support the black women because we can't look back how things were 60 years ago and expect that that's the way things supposed to be. I didn't live 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living now. And I want to be with somebody or I want to support somebody who's doing what they need to do and bossing up. So a lot of times I think that this gender role comes into play because sometimes individuals are not confident in themselves. So if you're not confident in yourself, you're not focused on what that person is winning at, you're going to feel some type of way because it's the mirror is not on you, it's on them.
Okay.
So I've always learned to be happy with when somebody's winning, be their biggest cheerleader, because in due season, your time will come.
Absolutely. I agree. But you hear the terms modern masculine woman, the masculine modern woman. Like, what does that resonate to you, Wayne?
So yeah, you throw a lot of words out there just in that one statement. The
Mhm.
modern, masculine, and woman.
Mhm.
So you have to decide which ones you want to really focus on. So you have the modern piece. Now you're dealing with a modern culture, right? It's the you mentioned 60 years ago. Culture was different 60 years ago.
Absolutely.
What was acceptable, accepted, and allowed 60 years ago was different than today, right? Women have always been women,
Mhm.
but when you start dealing with the culture today, it's what's allowed. There's a lot more access that women have now than they didn't have then.
Absolutely.
Which really, if we follow the times, some of these conversations won't even make sense. But we tend to stay in these time warps and deal with things. But when you talk about the masculine piece, male and female both have masculine and feminine traits. And there's
Absolutely.
one
I
piece
would
is
agree.
dominant than the other, right?
Mhm.
That in our natural proclivity. I think now we look at we get mixed up with people who want to in their mind have a, a older train of thought
Mhm.
that doesn't fit the modern space.
And so that's a great segue because my next question is about how it was back in the day. And I'm gonna give you a chance to weigh in on this because I know you have a lot to say. You know what I said, AKA A-Dub, but also Gail King, okay? That's the inside joke. But listen, I'm gonna give you an opportunity, but this segues into that question about have the roles changed? We're in the 21st century, right? And had it changed from our grandparents? You know, our grandparents, our grandmothers, they were our great grandmothers, they were in the home. And the man was going out and being the provider of the home. So has it changed drastically? And weighing on that.
I have a lot to say about that. Well, you took it a different direction. So let me first say the masculinity. So when we talk about masculinity with women, are you seeing them as being masculine because they're out working, they're out, coming, bringing home? That's masculine?
No,
Because
I'm
they're
saying,
working?
I'm
Or
not
no,
saying,
like is that masculine because they're going out and you know
I just talked about the terms I hear on the street.
right, absolutely, that's fine. So, if it's deemed masculine because you're going out and working, you come home and you're paying your bills, you're taking care of the children, still cleaning the house, you're taking on a whole lot of roles. You're taking on the roles from the '60s, and you added on your job responsibilities and doing that. So does that make you a masculine individual? But I know we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. I have to just basically say, it's going back 60 years or whatever. I didn't grow up in seeing grandparents staying at home. I saw it on one side and the other. My grandmother worked, she was out, she worked all my life, until she retired or whatever. But so I always saw a woman going out of the home. Yes, she had a husband to his death, but at the same time, he was working too. So sometimes we have to look at what we've grown up seeing, have done, and then you emulate that, or you do something a little bit different. So I didn't see that as a masculine thing to do, but I saw it as two people working together to uplift the home and make it work, take care of their children, take care of their household as a team. So I think that it's a little bit different, and I know that nowadays there are some young people, like Donald mentioned, there are some young men who actually do subscribe to that same feeling of they want to make more than their wives. They could be in their 20s, 30s, and they feel that it's emasculating them if they aren't the breadwinner. So that's a whole nother
That's,
conversation.
that's
Right.
definitely a whole
Can I
dynamic.
chime in on what you said?
Absolutely,
The
come
one
on.
thing that I heard you say that is very important is that when you look back at it, you said it, it's a team. There were teams that were working together. But now we live in a society where everybody's so individualized and grew up in houses individualized. I grew up, my grandmother worked, my mother worked. My mother was an entrepreneur when I was young. So I understand that. So some of the boss stuff, I'm like, that's normal, right? All the women in my family are like that. But when you say it, they work together, even though she did go out, but that talks about what the environment actually had to be. And that's some of the stuff we're missing.
Do you think that it was equal playing field back then and even today in the relationship? Like, my grandmother worked, my mom worked, yeah, and the husbands worked, but as they brought their money home and, the opportunities that they had, certainly the women were not doing the same work of a man. Was it equal footing, if you will?
Well, it was never equal footing because women were getting paid like, and to this day, let me not get up on my spot, but to this day, women are making a lot less than men in some of their careers. So, no, there wasn't equal footing in that manner, but there was equal footing in probably the hours that they were putting in, whether it was outside the home or inside the home. Women were probably putting in more hours than the men were, but they were still making probably double than the women were outside the home.
So, is this a good change for the culture that we are now women like you and I are now are now making just as much as the male, bringing home just as much and providing and doing just as much as our men are doing?
I would like to chime in on that one and say absolutely. Um, I've been given the privilege that, at IRS, I'm working on a temporary promotion. And I'm working with women who are running the domain they're giving me a seat at their table, and it's powerful to see that I'm working with strong black women, that I'm looking at these emails, I'm looking at these 8 o'clock calls with all different race, and they handle their business. So for me, it's inspiring because I have a 3-year-old daughter, that I can aspire, or I can see my daughter in these roles that I'm seeing these black women here at IRS. So for me, I'm excited. I feel like I'm learning every day, and I feel like it's good for the culture that we have women making the same exact money that some of these other executives are making, and I'm happy about that.
Anybody else want to weigh in on that? Okay. So listen, here's what I see. Have you ever felt like a woman's success has made you feel inadequate as a man?
No.
And maybe not you, but your circle of friends. Do you have circle of friends that, you hear men talk like, man, she thinks she this because she's doing, she's a boss and she's, an executive in her job. Do you think as a whole it makes the man feel some sort of way?
It depends. I don't think, play with me on this one, right?
I got you.
I think part of it comes with ego and pride. That's right up front. So that's the first part. The second part is money the thing that determines who's the lead in the relationship?
Ooh.
That's the second part. So, but when you're talking about the job, but then with all of us, we might work and do a certain thing professionally, but when we come home, are we bringing our job home and trying to be the same person? Am I trying to be CEO at home when and at work? You see what I'm saying? Like we all have to have our spaces where we can relax and fall into our natural essence, male and female, however it may be, because everybody's relationship is different. Absolutely. But I think for me, that's one of the things. Yes, I've heard it, but I'll have the conversation and say, "You're not happy that she thriving, bro? Like she winning. Doesn't take away from you." Absolutely.
But if you have, in my opinion, the man has to be strong enough in order to accept that. Because a lot of times, it is, you all are competitors by nature. Y'all competitors by nature. So you want to make sure, damn, if she's doing this, then I need to be doing double times what she's doing. Y'all competitive by nature. So to me, it is a sense of, I don't know,
I think we're competitive by nature, depending on the situation.
Okay.
Depending on the topic. Some things you can't compete with. It's what it is. But we're competitive on things that mean something to us. So it just depends on the topic.
Yeah, depends on the people. So I think with the competitiveness, sometimes that plays a part too, because that becomes a friction it is all right, you know. I should be doing this because the other spouse is doing that and trying to keep up that level of it, but it's not always necessary.
That's your part to play.
That's your part to play, right? And like when you said, you know, you come up, you are the CEO at home. Are you necessarily a CEO at work, and vice versa? And I don't know any man, and I don't know all men, but I don't know any man who doesn't want to be the leader of his his household and the head of his household.
But if he has a woman that is an executive, that is at the helm of everything, that is making two, three times more than she is, do you think that there is some level of, I don't know, but a healthy competition, or it's like, damn, I need to step my game up as the man, like, she.
Some men can't. They don't have the ability to step their game up to the level of the other individual. It may be education, it may be limitations of physical, it's all different things. But I think that it is the individuals have to decide what is most important for them.
Absolutely.
Because if a female, but and I'll say, and I have a feeling you might be on this track right here. But a woman also has to know who she's with,
Absolutely.
and whether or not she's willing to dial it back a little bit. You may be the head NIC at work, but sometimes you have to step back, and maybe the man let them a little bit take it. You kind of good. I'm not there.
In my womanhood, I haven't always been good at that. I am happily divorced, but in my womanhood, I think in my little girl personality, I married young. I didn't know that. I didn't know how to scale back. I was the one who made more than my husband, and not that I beat my chest about it. It was just a level of confidence that maybe I exude a little too much for him. And this topic is so near and dear to me about emasculating or diminishing the role of the black man, because now in my grown woman stage, I recognize that you can't do that. Like, I'm never going to do that. I have a son, so I don't want no other woman to do that to him.
Absolutely.
And so, I believe in breaking the generational curses and all. Y'all weigh in. VIPs weigh in those comments. I know that this is some good conversation. You were getting ready to talk about, does money lead to relationship? Let's talk about that.
That's my question. Like I've heard you say it a couple times. If she make more money, and we talking about competition. You said healthy competition. So I was glad you said that because sometimes the question about in my head was, do you really compete with against your partner or with your partner? You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Your partner ain't your enemy.
Yeah.
So why you don't need to combat it in that sense. But go back to the point that you made. You said if you're making $300,000,
Mm-hmm.
and your partner is making 75,
Okay.
is that what determines the hierarchy in your relationship? That's my question to y'all.
Wow.
On a real, as women, like, do you feel like that's what determines? You may not even talk to the guy, but what if he moves you off your feet? And you say, oh yeah, I like him and the money in the bank. Does that come into play?
Go ahead, Alicia.
Come on, Gary.
Come on, Gail.
So let me say, I mean, let me talk about extrovert and introvert. So I just had this is a struggle coming on here to see how much I was going to share.
Speaking 100.
So I would say for the individual Alicia, I've never dated a person who made more than me. To my knowledge, maybe somebody come out, they might be in the chat like, yes, you did. Anywho.
He ain't tell you that.
Let's go in, right? I don't discuss my money with anybody and nobody that I date, so let's just do that. Let's just put that in, so we don't discuss, but you kind of think, whatever. But, I think that if you set a standard and you put all those layers of what the person has to make, what type of job they have to have, and all of um, those check-off lists. That you could have some, but those really diminish and lower what you do with your opportunities.
Absolutely.
So I think that, and to your point, if that is the scale of what one person is making the other, I don't think that because they're making that much less that they have less power or less voice.
Yeah.
Because you are supposed to be in this, here we go, a team in this together again. So how come they get to make choices as well?
Absolutely.
Because of their life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So no, money doesn't move it. Money shouldn't determine who leads the relationship. I think, as Teddy P said, it might be 60-40, it might be 70-30. But, it might be a 50-50 love. We just don't know. I think it just depends on the day and the role. And so here's another question. Do you think that the push for the woman to be, the black woman to be the boss, so independent, is a ploy that society has had to extinguish or diminish the black male? Do you think that society is pushing the agenda of the black woman, the independent black woman, to extinct the role of the black male? Y'all get in them comments. Let us know what you think about that question. Ah, hey, I always throw a curveball. Listen, it's a damn shame, man. Is it a ploy? Could it be a ploy of society to extinct the black male?
It's arguments that are out right now, right? I listen to a lot of different stuff. So it's arguments that are out right now that put weight on the feminist movement as being a tool to break up the black family and diminish the black man in the black community.
That's the question.
Because it wasn't started for black people to begin with. It was started by others, and we adopted it. So they're saying, because at the point when it was coming on, it was to make the playing ground level in other communities, right? This is just arguments that are out there. She like, way into that.
But a fact find.
I know, I'm gonna pull it up too, but the thing is that in that season when this came forward, guess what? Our families were strong.
Yeah.
Our families were strong. I don't knock equality or equity. I think it's all necessary. I think that black women going as a whole becoming strong business women. I mean equal on many levels of men. I think it benefits the community.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to adapt the relational structures to match that too.
Initially, I was going to say, I was seeing the struggle like, is it a setup? But then, as you were talking, I started to go deeper to thought, and you thought I was looking into your soul, but I wasn't. I was thinking about maybe yes, because from the start, from slavery, when our black males were beat down into such a submission, the women most times were sometimes in the field, but also sometimes in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So from that perspective, it has been systematic. Mm-hmm. Don't let him get too big for his britches.
Okay.
The pastor did that too, the buck breaking.
Right.
In front of their families.
And that's what I'm saying. So if that started there when we were bought here, let's be clear, then now it's so ingrained in the system that it's not as obvious to the naked eye, but we as black individuals see it, and then are told that we've not seen what we see.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we have the Damn Shame podcast, so that we can shed light on these difficult conversations and put it out there. Like, I believe that it is a ploy from society. I do. I feel like like they are further pushing the agenda from slavery to modern day times, that we want to do away with the importance of the value of the role of the black man. Y'all get in them comments. Let us know what you think. Give me some hearts, likes, and love if you like the level of discussion that is going on. But let me just ask Alicia this question. Okay, go
I have
ahead.
one question. So another thing came to my mind as you were saying that, let's bring it a little bit closer. I know we have a lot of teachers and a lot of people in education. Think about how our little boys versus our little girls are treated in the elementary schools. We have our little black boys that have a lot of extra energy and a lot more can't sit still down abilities.
Yeah, they quick to label them.
Label them, put them on medication, and do what have you. And meanwhile, the girls are in class, they're still being educated, they're learning and stuff. They're sending the little boys to the principal's office. He's not getting his education. He's missing out. So he's being pushed further and further back. Or you have the little boys that they're their favorites, so they don't push them to make them want to learn. They coddle them. And so I think that those are just another piece of systematic things that are put in society that I wanted to mention. But go ahead.
And that's so true. But in adulthood, I think that pushing the independent woman, yes, I think it needs to be a level playing field for all of us. All of us will have the same opportunities. Whether you have an education or not, you do not have to have a degree to be successful. You do not have to have a degree to be a multimillionaire and be doing the damn thing and be a boss in your arena, whatever that is. So, they push that agenda on us as children, as Alicia said, and now with the role of, this boss woman, this boss bitch, all this stuff. Like, come on now. No, let's not forget our brothers. And that's why we wanted to have this platform to even talk about it. There's some comments out there.
Oh, yeah, they're going crazy in the chat. I think we ultimately need to do away with gender roles. A couple needs to do what works for them and their family. Sometimes men will say that they can handle a woman making more money, but when they actually get into a relationship, oftentimes their ego can't handle it.
Ow, ow.
Here go another one. The only person that can make the black male extinct is the black male, and that's all about his choices.
Okay, thank you for getting them comments. Y'all keep the comments rolling. We got our producer lady in Nightlife looking at it. Again, share this live, heart it, like it, and let's continue with the question. So, Alicia, do you ever feel like, as an independent woman, that you have to dim your light to protect the black man?
Do I ever have to feel that I have to?
Dim your light.
Heavyweight question right there.
I never feel like I have to, and I typically don't.
Ooh. Is that your mean girl, or that you just, what is it?
I don't know if I have, what is, like dimming my light, like am I ever going to be meek and mild? Am I going to be like what does that look like?
Well, I think dimming your light, okay, so your light is that you are successful, you are an independent woman, you are an entrepreneur, you are a business professional, you are at the top of your game educationally, spiritually, emotionally, like you got it all together. You have a house, you got your own house, your own car, your own, INDEBEND. I never know how to spell it, okay? That's a damn shame. But like, yo, you got everything. Like, you have to dim your light in order to allow a man to come in to be a part of Alicia's world.
I don't think that you should have to dim your light, and I don't think you should dim your light. But I do believe, I will say, that when I meet an individual, it takes me a long time to let them know all that I am doing. They may learn it just because of my schedule and what I'm like. She want to go again. She off to something. They may not know everything because everybody can't handle everything all the time and off the bat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you just have to know your audience and know, and you give a little bit, and then you can tell if they can't handle it. You always at them sorority meetings. My God, when you got time for me?
Yeah.
And when they do that, they keep doing that, and it's over. It's like, my question is, so what you do on your free time? So I don't know about the dim and the light. I just may not share up front, everything. I think these people on this podcast know more about me than they probably ever knew.
Okay.
Thanks to you. Thank you.
So, Denise,
Yeah.
because you're very active in your organization, do you
Multiple organizations.
multiple organizations, but DST is very important to you, right? Like you just mentioned. Is it a thing where he's feeling neglected because you're not giving him attention, or is he being spoiled, or is it other selfish reasons that you get that question?
I think it's a balance. I think it's a balance of the two. I think it's a balance. Sometimes I don't know about the spoil. I don't know. I think that if you can balance your time, and if the person is feeling like they're getting enough time, then maybe they can be content. Some people say they're not content with that. I may not be their cup of tea, because I'm not going to be that person that is the homebody. I know myself. I know you're not gonna want to date me, because that's not in my character, sitting still and not doing anything.
I'm gonna tell you, from my perspective, I lie. I live with my mama. I ain't got no car. This my brother car. Like, 'cause I don't ever really, I guess because of my experience, with my husband and how I acted stupid and all of that, in my little girl moment, instead of, coming into my womanhood, I scale back. I don't let them know. Oh no, that's my mother house. I live with my mother. Like, I ain't got no big
I don't
house.
even know where I live. You don't know I live in an apartment.
You gotta scale back. So I think that I dim my light intentionally, to just until I really feel that he is secure enough to handle all this womanhood. Cause I bring a lot.
And I hear that, right? I understand your tactic, but I have a problem with that.
Okay.
I have a serious problem that you feel like you need to dim your light, because it makes me feel, Wayne, that you're looking at guys that's below you. You dating down instead of dating on your level or above.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like y'all come against brides that y'all shouldn't even be giving them the time of day.
Listen, Dan Shamus from back in the day, from season 1. We like the niggas that's hanging off the back of the truck, the trash truck, and all that, okay? They quite sexy to me. So it's not dating Dan.
It's not about that.
I like a manly man.
It's not about his job. It's not about his education.
Well, what are you talking about?
It's about his insecurities that y'all dating down.
Now we cracking over the head.
It's his insecurities that y'all dating
Well,
down.
you never noticed insecurity. You don't know that at the time.
You know that if you have to dim your light.
If you feel like you have to lie up front. I live with my mama.
He's not the
That's
one.
my mama, Tom.
He's not the one. He can own the business. It's not about the position. It's not about him working at McDonald's. It's about confidence.
Ladies, I think that you have to dim your light a little bit, because you don't know that person until you done been through all 4 seasons and you really know them, because they might try to latch on
But
to
you're
the Lord.
lying for the 4.
Huh?
But are you going to lie for the 4 seasons? And then after the 4 seasons, then you're going to decide to let them
Is it
know?
lie or withholding the truth?
But it should
Withholding the truth.
But they're building off of the lie. If you're withholding the truth.
I didn't say I'm lying. I'm not telling them
Well,
who
you-
I did it. I'm
She
not
ain't gonna
where
say
I did it.
nothing. I'm gonna lie. Come on, comments. Come
I
on,
think some
ladies.
folks in the chat are agreeing with Donald and Wayne, saying, why do the ladies feel they have to dim their light? It sounds like you
Because
have to
you
dim
never
it.
know. First of all, you never know somebody's motive, and then you don't know their intentions. And if they feel like, damn, you got all of this, oh, I'm just gonna come on in and move into all of this. Hell to the no.
But that's fair. That's not what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You said Y'all said two different things.
Yeah, we did.
You said, oh, no, I'm lying, straight up. One time, y'all know what I want, this is what I'm saying.
She's on it in the church.
But she's saying, I don't give it all
I'm not giving you.
until I see more.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how long that lasts, but what we gonna say is, it's, if you're trying to get to know somebody, you're handicapping the guy by not giving him the option to make a choice. The same way you wouldn't want to
So
have.
do you think that y'all really divulge everything that y'all had going on and all of that?
Let me tell you something.
Yes or no?
No. Yes. On the,
Two different.
now watch this. In the right situation.
Right situation, I agree.
How do you know when you get into the right situation?
It's what we feel. We'll just start vomiting up everything. You get everything like in 2 days. Like we like I'm feeling shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's that masculine femininity that's coming
No,
out.
we sense that we might be able to have peace.
Okay,
Comfortable.
We're comfortable.
okay.
Not comfortable in the state of being lazy, but comfortable in the state of being like, this could be a safe space if I build it.
There's a comment that says a real man don't care what you have.
That's what
A real man doesn't care what you have.
a real man doesn't care what you have. Thank you, nightlife.
Thank you.
That's facts.
But I think that what you do is a part of who you are.
Yeah.
So the
They
higher,
gonna know something I do. They gonna know I work.
But you're not lying, though.
you're not lying.
You're not lying.
You just omitting the truth.
And that's
giving
okay.
you
I'm
I'm
okay
giving
with
you
that.
enough. You gonna know I work.
Like, you know I work, you can know I work in this industry. I get you.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair. But people can figure it out, but the more time they put in, the more access should be given on both sides.
I
It's
agree
fair.
with that. I like that.
Yeah.
Overtime.
I definitely like that. So I got a question for the men. How do you feel when you come across a woman who is more successful in most areas, professionally and personally? Do you celebrate them? Are you motivated by their accomplishments, or are you intimidated?
I think it goes back to what I said earlier. I think you have to be the biggest cheerleader. You have to learn that sometimes you're gonna be the bat or the ball. You're in control, or you here for the ride. So, like, going back to a lot of conversations y'all said, like, I know a family, they're a family now. We've been together a very long time, right? She killing it. You know, her part-time job, she make $80,000. You know, she got 3 separate entities, and he is her biggest cheerleader. He's still successful in his job. He takes care of the kids, and I'm like, he ain't always been like that, you know, because it was the fact that, hey, you making more money, you should be paying a little bit more. Hey, you know, you killing it. You know, you make a little bit more. They bring me into it as I'm the therapist and everything, and I'm the mediator. What you think about this? What you think about that? Like, you know, he has a point. You killing it on one of your entities, and you threw a number out into your job, and they bid on it. So I look at it as we as a people got to learn how to play our role. And if you got to be a cheerleader, you got to be the loudest person.
And roles are not always for a lifetime.
Absolutely. This is for that moment. I
Because
agree.
it can
I
switch.
agree.
Like the one actress, I can't think of her name, but she's so down to earth.
Kiki.
The black lady, but she's been on social media like crazy. Her husband said, "You go after this dream. I'm gonna grind and take care of everything else."
Tabitha Brown.
There it is.
Yeah.
And now she said, "Baby, it's your turn."
Yes. Yes.
Come on, what that do to you, right?
Yeah.
You saw that? I said that. Ooh, I did the exact thing.
That's love.
That is love.
That's
That
love.
is love. But that's love in grown womanhood. Right. I didn't have that.
But they started young though.
They were both young. I was immature. They were both young. Yes. Producer lady, we got something.
One comment says, that sounds right and it sounds good, but do we really live this with that in reality?
Which part?
Yeah.
I think that's talking about how, you know, we congratulate and we support and all that. It sounds good, but is
It
that
sounds
really
like
happening?
the right thing to say.
That's what it
But
says.
but these men, they be low key in competition with us. Like, nah, wait a minute. She, what they think Kiki might make, cause they don't know. I ain't saying shit, okay? I ain't gonna let you know nothing. I live with my mama, and I drive my brother car, and I ain't got nothing, okay? Because that's just listen. Are you really telling the truth? Are you really?
100%.
I would say ditto to what he said, because there's a level, like we all grow up mature, right? Like you said, you're a mature Kiki, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a young age, you thought totally different. When you were married, when you first got married, you were totally different.
Yeah.
But as men, we mature like that too. And at a point where we can get out of listening to the external and make our choices for ourselves and say, I don't know, I don't have a friend that does not want his woman to win. I don't have a close friend that don't want his woman to win.
But see, like the person in the comments said, right? It's a difference of, this is the 44-year-old Donald.
Wait.
This is not the 24-year-old Donald. I probably would feel like that.
Yeah.
I would probably feel like some type of way.
The competition.
The competition.
Because a 44-year-old Donald didn't talk to the 24-year Donald.
Absolutely.
Right.
We learn, like you say, when we learn, we grow. You're gonna look different 10, 20 years, either way.
So check this out. I am the second most powerful woman in the United States, and I am a black woman. How y'all think her husband feels?
I saw his face. When they won the election.
Okay, so how you think he
Oh, he's happy. I don't know what. It doesn't take away from
is
him.
he happy because he's latching on?
What is he latching on to? That was already his wife.
Latching on to her success, her accomplishments, her power.
He was already her husband.
I understand.
Did you see how he cried?
That's what I'm saying.
Did you see how he boo-hoo?
That is an elevation for her. It doesn't. He has his word.
Oh, he even got elevated too.
Oh, for sure. That's
Okay.
how I think. But
No, it's like he ain't been on her damn back. Shit.
But I think that he was happy. He supported her to run for it. So when you win it, I can't be mad then. I done supported you for 18 months already. Where we at?
Like, come on. Where we at in Instagram world?
Okay, have the two guys on the panel actually dated someone who made more money or had higher positions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was raised by one. I was raised by a power broker who was in IT in the 80s as a black woman when black women weren't in IT at all. Huh?
Raised.
No, I said dated.
Oh, she said
No,
dated.
I'm saying though, so it set the tone for me. That don't bother me. Like I have a family of strong women, so that what you make, that's what you make. That doesn't mean it's going to dictate what I do. Like I'm gonna be me.
So in a relationship, that was your family. Yeah, you can't help who you born
It was in
into.
a relationship. If we going out, we gonna do what I can do. I'm not going. I can't. I can't spend money I don't got. Right? Let's keep it a fuck. I'm like, hey, look.
Nigga, you gonna take me to Applebee's
I don't like
every
Applebee's.
Friday.
I don't like Applebee's. Oh, we gonna eat good. Don't trip.
We good.
I don't do chain restaurants. Put it like that.
Hello.
So we gonna have fun. We gonna have food experiences. That's what I like.
Okay.
So we gonna enjoy stuff. But if it's something that's like, okay, I recognize if I'm in that position, like, I'm playing this girl. I'll save it 3 months, and if I got to, I'll hustle to get the extra. It's gonna be what it is.
That's what I'm talking
You know
about. Daddy is a provider. Okay.
Savor, did y'all catch that?
Yes.
Savor, you know, put a little bit aside every month, but that's it.
Like ask the question again.
The question was, have the two guys on the panel actually dated someone who made more money or had higher positions?
Absolutely. And the thing is, again, this is a different Donald at 44 versus a Donald in my 20s or 30s. So I don't have a problem dating people who are making more money than me, their house bigger than mine, they drive a better car than me.
Mhm.
You know, I downsize.
Mhm.
I drive a Honda Civic.
Mhm.
I bought a minivan for my kids, but I still have, you know, little things that I like. I still have a boat. You know?
This nigga got a boat.
They'll get lost in the Civic. They'll get lost in the Civic.
See, I said that for a
Hold on,
reason.
wait a minute.
I said that for a reason.
Just a little boat thing.
Hold on,
right?
hold on, hold on,
One second.
Okay,
I
that's
said that because you're talking to another experienced 44 dial that I'm not caught up on what people think. My watches cost more than what I drive, right?
Because you move your money different.
I move my money different. If I want to go buy a new car, I can buy cash. I'm not impressed. When you felt like you've been broke and your back is against the wall, you look at things differently.
Hey, VIP, listen, your girl Kika will tell you like it is, okay? We're gonna keep it all the way real. This Negro is omitting the truth, you understand? He's about, I drive a Civic, like he's doing the Warren Buffett thing.
I am going.
But yeah, this nigga got a whole boat on the dock slip and all,
But
like,
that's true.
that was the last thing you said. You started off slow. You started off low.
Yeah.
Like I said,
But why
you
did
only
you do
give
that?
a little bit of, get a little
But
bit
why
of.
did you do that?
When did she find out about the boat?
If I like you, you know about it instantly. Right, like go back to what Wayne said. If I feel comfortable with you, if I feel comfortable
You
with
gonna get this information.
you're gonna get the information on we meet. I'm not here to brag about what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's all about the feeling and
And
the
you,
time.
do you ever feel like, sorry, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Kick it in a little bit. So when we talk about the men, you know, the women and not want to give all the information, but do you ever feel like there's women that's, you know, coming at you just for your coin?
I don't feel like I've come across those type of individuals.
You flex in a way that they will come looking for you in that way.
I tend to meet good people. I tend to meet good people. I tend to hang out and meet and be in good crowds. So I'm not, hate to say it, I'm not hanging out on North Avenue. Right? I go to North Avenue and get my food. I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I'm not hanging out on North Avenue. I'm going to North Avenue get some food.
You're not hanging in the
I know my community.
Okay, I get it. I totally get
But
it.
can I add on to this point though?
Please do.
Because I appreciate how it was a mini flex. Let's not diminish it. I'm gonna give you that flex. Oh yeah, he hit his chest real hard. He's like, hey, I downsize. I drive a Civic. I got a minivan for my kids.
And
I got two more cars.
Am I watching the seat?
My wife is but he put his value in spaces where a lot of people are attracted to what they see up front. So they'll never get close enough to him to get to know the person to be able to get to know that. Because you talk about if we can go back to the independent woman piece, well, you gotta measure here, the checklist you're talking about. You gotta measure here. So if you don't see down on your checklist,
Yeah, my missile.
you missing them in plain sight.
Miss me. I want you to miss me.
Okay, so listen, IG. I know we're coming up on the hour mark. I don't know how long they're gonna give us, but if it turns off, be sure that we're gonna restart it and y'all can come back on Facebook and YouTube. We are good. I hope y'all are enjoying this hot conversation because I think it is very, very, very necessary. I really do. So listen, do you think that Black women are taking opportunities away from Black men? Are we taking opportunities away from y'all?
Opportunities are available when they're available. Who's ready gets to take advantage of the opportunity. So if it doesn't, it's not gender specific. If right now the numbers say that Black women are the most educated in America, right? So if jobs are being based on that, or on your education or whatever background, okay, you may have that. But then there's a whole nother level of business. There's plumbers that make more.
Yeah.
You know, but it just doesn't matter. I think that when opportunity presents itself, if you're ready, whoever is available gets it.
Absolutely.
I think a hustle is going to hustle, like, man,
Yeah.
woman, if that's in you, it's gonna be there. So nobody can take that from you.
I echo what you all both said. I think, the hustle has to be there, the grind has to be there, the determination has to be there in order to win. It doesn't matter, what your backing is or whatever. You know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. Now, I mean, I think that's just in our culture. That's what we have been taught to do. I know I saw my mother work 2 and 3 jobs just to make it, make ends meet for her children. And then later on, put her kids through college, and then later on decide, okay, let me go get mine and get my degree. So, it is just what we see in the grind of the generations that have gone before us. So listen, we're gonna switch roles or switch, kind of pivot a little bit, okay? And we're gonna talk about, we talked about it professionally, right? But let's just talk more about in the home environment, okay? The gender roles on the home front and how that, what that looks like across the board. So my first question is, should the independent woman who is a boss in her professional environment, is she expected to leave that at the door? Men? When she comes home, is she expected, is she expected to just turn that off? All that boss stuff in her professional environment, when she hit that door, what is she expected to do?
I would say yes. I would say yes because what you do outside the house doesn't affect what we're doing inside. I want love, I want grace, I want affection inside the house. I don't want to feel like I'm your executive assistant at home. I want to feel like I'm daddy, I'm poppy. I want the kids to feel special. So it should be a switch to cut off.
So what would she do to make you feel like you are her executive assistant? What are some characteristics that a boss woman in her professional environment, if she didn't turn it off at the door, what were the signs? Like, you need to scale this back.
I think on a consistent basis,
Mm-hmm.
like it's routine. Did you make the food? Did you cook dinner? Did you wash the clothes? Did you?
Sound like gender roles to me.
Sound like gender. Listen,
It's not gender roles. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
It's that you are. It's a give and take at home. If you got a busy day at work or a busy week at work, I want to make sure dinner is cooked.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
But it's not like you drive it. You ain't gotta tell me. I'm gonna make sure it's done because I can tell you. Yeah, I'm in tune to what's going on with you at work because we checking in with each other. So a real guy, a real man would be like, well, she had a rough day at work. Let me make sure the bath water is right. Let's go out to, we ain't gonna do Fridays. I do Fridays because it's close to my house. But let's go have a quick drink. I'm gonna make sure that when you come home, it's the safe haven for you.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay.
It doesn't sound good.
It does sound good.
It's with your needs. It's roles.
Okay.
What
It's
is
roles.
that?
What it say?
It's
So
roles.
what's the role? So what's the role that you're saying that the man plays in that scenario you set up?
He's like your father. He's gonna. You had a rough day at home. He's gonna be attentive to you. Yeah, it's
You help her cut the switch off.
yeah. You help her cut the switch off.
And how do you help her cut the switch off?
She got to trust the environment. That's the first piece. She got to trust the environment, trust that you use the word consistency. That consistency is within him to handle. We all know what's going on. If he said, when you're checking in throughout the day, I know how your day is. I'm going to handle this. If this might be the thing that we have agreed that you're doing in the house, I can take that off. But gender roles are, it's hard for me to look at it now because most people tie gender roles to the 60 years old. when it's an event. Like if you're out, if you're a homemaker 60 years ago, okay, that's one thing. But if both of you are at the house, we both deal with the same type of time.
So is the professional woman expected to turn it off when she hits that door in your household?
Why are we talking about with the first world? I think we should be talking. We talk about home. I think we should be talking about both people.
It's my question. I said, does the professional woman need to turn it off
Yeah,
at the door?
yeah. Just like the man has to leave work outside.
Okay, okay.
Work
So
can be
it should
stressful
be
as
both.
hell.
It should be both. When they come home, home is home. But who's the leader?
That should be established in the relationship.
Okay, okay.
That should
So
be
is it
established.
the woman that's being submissive to the man? Because that's how it's supposed to be. That's what the Bible says.
It's about partnership.
Okay.
It's about winning together. Like, we can't get caught up on the phases of life. We gotta enjoy the phase that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
You said you're not the same woman you were when you got married, when you was just fresh out of college.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the same person.
No, no.
So we gotta understand we gonna grow together, or you gonna get somebody in a season where y'all can work together.
Yeah. Yeah. So Alicia, do you find that it's hard for you to turn that light off? Your modern day independence at the door?
Yeah.
Do you find that it's okay? Let's take Alicia.
It probably
for women.
would be. I think for me, because I'm probably very consistent, always pretty consistent. So it would probably be hard for me to maneuver at a lower vibration.
Have you ever been presented with an opportunity to be able to relax to them?
I think so, yeah. I think, and I think that it
Do
was,
you
that
know
was
where
a.
you live?
No, she was in. She lived with my mom. I was living with her mom. And we was running these in her basement. Okay, who I live.
And I think that was more, it was easier. I think I think it was easier, and I think that they were secure, they were supportive. So all the stuff you're saying, I think that I didn't have that dilemma in that. So I think that if you are able to do it, I think it's a good thing. If it's work to do it, I don't think that's such a good thing. Because if you gotta work it every time you pull in your driveway, you gotta
Force yourself.
force
Change
yourself
how you
to
are.
get into this, like, maybe more, this role, that it's hard.
It is
It's
hard.
gonna get, like, because you're not being real, it's hard.
Absolutely.
That's not your
Some of the words you used,
Come on.
you said the role. I have an acting background too, so when you say the role, I'm thinking that you're acting and playing the character and not being.
And
you.
that's basically what
That's
I was
what's been
saying,
asked.
yeah.
So if you
Because
can't be yourself, you
Yeah.
how can you figure out what's happening at home anyway?
That's a struggle.
So we're gonna know, like you said, I'm attentive to you. We have to understand who you are, what your personality is, to understand what to give you space for.
Right.
Would you agree?
Absolutely, man.
What I say is that I'm a fixer. I'm a fixer by nature. That's just I problem solve, and that is just what I do. And sometimes for me, it is hard to turn it off when I hit the door because I need to make sure that everything is in order. And so I think that it's just, in my DNA, it's what, I'm an engineer by trade. And so I came from a predominantly male dominating background. And so I always had to constantly lean in and express myself and have my voice be heard. And so it's kind of hard for me to turn that thing off, even in my womanhood. Like, and so I've had people that I've dated be like, yo, I got this. Like, and so every night I say, all right, Zaddy, I know you got it, because he reminds me and the light comes on. And sometimes I need that reminder without him feeling like his ego is bruised.
I think and how we started this whole conversation with the women and having so much and being so much and being able, you're running your own household, you may be single, their support system isn't there in a spouse, that when you get into it, it's hard to turn that off because you're so used to fixing it, being the person that you have to get this done, get that done, because who else is gonna do it if you don't do it? So then when there's a helpmate, I use that term a lot, because that's my intention and my goal is to have. So therefore, I say, I may not need you to take the trash out, but I may want you. That would be a great helpmate, you know, for you.
I need
don't
you
need
to take
you to
my
pay
damn
my
trash
bill.
out, okay? I need you to wash my car. I need you to put the gas in. I need you because I have been so conditioned. I have been so conditioned to doing every damn thing myself. No, I want that. I welcome that. And sometimes I don't always convey it in the best manner, but I'm trying my womanhood. I'm learning to shift the roles. But let me ask you all this. Okay. Because a woman may make more, right? A woman might make more, a woman might be the boss, and this, that, and the other, and the man doesn't. And if you all are married and you get divorced, how do you feel about paying, Alicia, if you were the breadwinner, how would you feel about paying child support, alimony to your ex? If you were the boss, both alimony and child support. You know, hey, like I said, I'm happy to divorce, but if that child support piece came up and he just come up, first of all, when you got with that person, they had the child support and the alimony stuff. No. I'm saying we've had children together and we built this lifetime together and we didn't work, but you are the breadwinner, he doesn't make as much. You think about Mary J. Blige's ex-husband coming after her for alimony, and you know people come after you for child support and stuff like that. And we're talking about gender roles. Come on, VIPs in them comments. We're talking about the gender roles. I mean, is a man less than because he asked him for alimony or child support?
You asking us?
I'm asking anybody else.
So let me say, I don't think, and I do know people who have fallen into that category. I don't think that the man is lesser of a individual, human, what have you, because
asking for
it. Because I think people want to do what they can do, what they want to do, and what they feel that they're entitled to do. So, with that being said, we keep throwing out our ages, and I'm not, but but I think at this age and stage in our lives, I think many people are opting to do the prenuptial because they have so much that they gain to lose in such situations. And when you get together right out of high school, right out of college, and what have you, and you starting from the bare minimum scratch and you starting together, that's a whole nother animal. But when you've established something and you meet someone and what they may be established in their own right, if they don't want to lose what they've worked their 20, 30 years for, their pension. Yeah. So now you got to have a real frank conversation.
And I agree with you. I just look at it I look at it two ways. And this is my personal opinion, right? I don't think us as common people, I'm saying us, common people, when you look at like a Diddy, a Jay, Mary J. On that level, I can see it. I can see I want a little cut because you just spoiled me to a lifestyle. You know, you just spoiled me to a lifestyle. You fly me?
Or supported me.
That
was his argument.
Well, he was her manager at one point.
I see it.
Oh, what's the girl?
So let me take it because
when
I'm
you
spoiled.
listen, no, you done walked into Kiki's world. And it's quite lavish over here, okay? Are you telling me that you automatically entitled to a piece of the pie because you have
Is the same argument for the woman though? Are we gonna have the same argument for the woman?
Listen.
I think it's the same argument. I
It's
think
the same
I think
argument.
it's not immediately.
What's the acceptance of it?
I think it's not immediately. I think what happens in those situations is the individual feels as though from this date, say it's today, and you were married for 20 years after that, they feel that they have supported you and helped you and built up and made you even more of a success, so therefore they feel that they are entitled.
I have a female that says she's not sure that she would want to pay child support or alimony.
To a man.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like that's weak. Like, brother, why are you asking for that? Like, yo, come on now.
I'm gonna say this.
Why are you asking for my money?
Child support, I'm divorced too. Child support is what it is. That's based off how much time you got with the child, right? If y'all got equal time, no, you shouldn't get no. Everybody should be having their own, right? But when it comes to alimony, for me personally, when I divorced, it's a seven. I'll start from nothing.
Yeah.
And build again.
Yeah.
But that's a part of my ego that I don't let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna come to you for like, well, I did help you with that. I can't do it. I would gnaw my fingers off or something. You know what I'm saying? So, me personally, I couldn't do it.
I think it could be a character flaw too.
So to prenup or not to prenup?
Go for it.
Going back to what she said, the 44-year-old Donald, I'm not marrying nobody that we're not on the same page.
But still, prenup.
Prenup
No.
or not prenup?
No.
No prenup?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Prenup or not prenup?
Possible prenup.
Hell
You
yeah.
ain't even gonna know about the second house with her. So we already know.
Prenup or not prenup?
I'm game, depending on the situation.
No, I'm totally game for prenup. I have worked 48 years, okay, in building this Kiki empire. And I don't want anybody. I want to welcome him in. He can compliment and all of that. But what was yours, brother, is yours. What was mine is mine. And what we built together as one, that is totally different. So, yeah, give me that prenup, please. Listen.
You said something about from a Bible standpoint. I wanted to share. I kept thinking about that. I heard the minister say this when we talked about the unequal levels of who makes what. And he mentioned that if the woman makes substantially more, set up the household so that the woman or the couple chooses not to live at the means of the woman's salary.
I love
So
that.
that if things change,
The safety program.
the safety program, yeah, correct. Like, things change. She has a child. She wants, needs to leave work or whatever. You're not strapped. The man can still leave and be on his pay, use his level of income, and vice versa. If he loses a job, people in a relationship, somebody loses a job, and then you're struggling to maintain on a certain level. So that's a position that was brought to my mind. I thought about it.
The reality of that, though, and tell me if you agree or not, the modern man wants you to be able to handle business. Because if something goes wrong, I don't want us falling off because something happened to me.
But the woman is a helpmate, damn it. My stuff that I bring is to help the situation that's already at hand. So that's where we are with that. Listen, so last question of the night. If she dominates in the boardroom, is she expected to dominate in the bedroom? Hello? What we doing, VIPs out there? Come on, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, get in that comment, answer the question. If she dominates in the boardroom, is she expected to dominate in the bedroom? Or are y'all feeling some sort of way about that, man?
I'll start off because, my man Wayne, just don't be boring. I look at it as basketball, right? Sometimes you on fire nights. Sometimes you coasting. You coasting. It depends on the mode, the feeling.
Let the game come to you.
Let the game, Wayne.
I hear what you talking.
Let the game come to you. Like for
Listen, she going for the drive and she need an assist. Like, what are y'all doing? What are we doing?
I mean, it's your story.
I think you slam that ball in the hoop.
Okay.
You It's a tag team. It's a partnership. It's no iron team.
Okay, no iron thing.
Go.
Wait,
I'm trying to help you, man.
Oh, you fine. I said, I see where we go collectively.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Come on, come on.
I was gonna be real silly. I was gonna say it's Loving Wednesday. It just depends. But I think it's I think the vibe. Let me just say, the bedroom don't start in the bedroom,
Hello.
Absolutely.
right? So if you it's front door in the kitchen, wherever, you set the tone before you get to the bedroom. So I think that's what I'm saying about it.
But that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Right,
Nothing
so
to
the
do with
question is, if she's a
think-
boss in the professional environment, what about the boardroom?
I think it depends on where. I think it depends on how you feel.
Okay, okay,
Because I think some men might want to be dominated.
okay,
They might like it that day.
all right.
It depends on the kink in your relationship.
Okay, before Wayne goes, come on, producer lady.
I think that's what
We're
he's
saying
saying.
that the men are not really answering the question. Then it says, do you want the woman to dominate in the bedroom or not? As you said earlier, when she gets home, to turn it off at the door. So do you want it turned on in the bedroom?
Hey, come on now. Answer the damn question.
It's a different door.
Do you want the dominated woman in the professional boardroom to come and do the same in the bedroom? Or you want to take control?
You want her to aggress you, bro, or no?
Again, it depends on the situation and the time. If she might have had a rough day, I might need to be the dominant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I might need to.
So he gonna adjust. He'll adjust.
I'm
He's a chameleon.
adjust. I'm
Okay.
gonna adjust. I'm gonna bang your head off if I gotta bang your head off.
Okay.
Right?
Al,
You might need
Al,
that.
Al, you might need that.
You might need the feet rub. You might need a little extra.
Okay.
You know, you done had a rough day, so it depends. It depends on the team sport.
Okay. All right, and Wayne, take us
So
on
what I
home.
hear my brother Donald say.
Thank you, man. Help me out, man. You left me up there.
No, I didn't even know how far we was going. But I'll go complete level no liquor. So what he's saying to me is, as a man, you gotta have equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a toolkit that you can use for whatever the assignment calls for.
Wayne,
So what are
smooth.
you talking about? You done
Right
told me
here?
what,
Smooth.
yeah, you done told me, you
I
done told us what you
am, okay, this is Kiki.
Uh-huh.
Kiki
Damn
show.
shame.
It's adult talk.
So, me personally, I am not into being dominated.
Oh.
Now I can appreciate aggression
Mm-hmm.
that lets me know where you at.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get into it, I'm animalistic in my nature, so I'm going to bring that out for the most part. But I do have a quiver, a toolkit that is equipped
Wayne smooth.
with what's necessary for the moment. But there's never going to be, so I can be, I don't need you to be dominant, but I can take care of you without being submissive.
Okay. Okay.
Is that fair?
Uh-huh. Very
Wayne
good.
need to teach a class. Wayne need to teach a class.
Hold on, did I answer the question though? Y'all said we're not running. We're not running.
Come on, VIP. Let the brothers know while y'all giving them comments. I will answer the question. I feel like I'm a boss in so many areas of my life. Just let me lay and y'all do whatever you please to me, okay? It's whatever you want, all right?
Whatever you like.
Whatever you like, okay? I don't want to be dominant. I just want to just chill.
So with that statement, and this is my real question to you about the idea of the independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
Independence really is isolated. Do you really want to be that, or do you want to be in a place where you can, like you said, bask in it? It's a general question, just from the.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing you ask is that because I've been independent for so long, do I want to stay in that isolated bubble of my independence, or am I willing to open up and allow people to come in? the right person. I would say the right person, yes. He has to be worthy. There's criteria that we all have. We all have certain standards that we like. Like, Donald said he ain't meeting them in the hood. I don't care about the hood. Nigga, call me, please, okay? Hanging on the back of the trash, just call me, all right? Listen, I like good quality people who are authentic in the area of life that they're in. Whatever area, whatever level you are at, that you deem you are in your life. As long as you're authentic, as long as you're consistent, as long as you're genuine, as long as, you're not putting on a fake and phony and fronting like you got and you don't really have a boo, like, come on now. So, I like that. I like a level of being in a safe space because I love love. And so I am going to open myself up to completely to receive that when I feel like I can trust and be vulnerable enough. So, listen, y'all, tonight we have gone past the hour mark, but this has been an amazing conversation. I hope VIP Damn Shamers, y'all are in those comments that you all have enjoyed it. Listen, thank you so much to our panel here tonight, Alicia, Donald, Wayne, for giving good adult, authentic conversation that we can glean something from. I think that as we all leave here, we are charged with uplifting our black woman and our black male and just keeping that culture alive and keeping the movement going. Listen, y'all, this has been an amazing experience. I thank you, Nightlife. Did you have something that you wanted to weigh in? Okay, producer lady, we good? All right, everybody's loving it. Y'all hearting it. Y'all sharing it. Listen, we are here every other Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Damn Shame Podcast. We have some amazing topics. You can catch the replays on YouTube and some of our other platforms like Facebook and Instagram, but you can always catch it on YouTube. This is season 2, episode 4 of Damn Shame Podcast. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I hope you all have enjoyed it tonight. All right. The motivational thought tonight is revive. Revive. Take a moment to just revive yourself. Reflect on what you've gone through and meditate on and manifest what you want to become. Okay. Let's revive this healthy lifestyle that we want to live emotionally, spiritually, and all the things, all right? Listen, ain't nobody told you I love you, okay? And it ain't a damn thing that you can do about it. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. See y'all next Monday. Well, two Mondays from now. Ow, ow. Hey, it's a Damn Shame Podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed this so much, because I did. Yes, it's a Damn Shame Podcast. I'll see y'all in 2